Hi, this is the Cat's Library. I'll be your librarian today. I couldn't find any good stories about iguanas. Ibises definitely have stories from Egyptian mythology, so we're drawing an ibis. Engage, speed paint. Draw, Photoshop crash. Draw, Photoshop crash. Draw. Wait, is this actually gonna work? Photoshop crash. Ibis are a waterfowl that eat fish and mollusks. Thus, they sometimes take advantage of flooded or irrigated agriculture. A particular subspecies, the sacred ibis, that I'll later elaborate on, has expanded its geographical range because of the development of irrigation technology in the surrounding regions. To clarify, the ibis that I'm drawing is known as the Hadada Ibis, which is native to parts of Africa that are grasslands and wetlands but not deserts. Their name comes from the sound that they make. And now I have that one song from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang stuck in my head. They nest in trees, typically in the fork between two branches. Sometimes Hadada ibis are called black ibis since the other major African ibis subspecies are more white. This subspecies is native to Egypt, and most of the story section will focus on it. It is called the sacred ibis. The reason I'm not drawing it is because it looked too similar in coloration to the crowned crane. Also, I really like green, and I wanted to practice drawing it on an animal. Many ancient Egyptian tombs have mummified ibis, likely to flatter the god Thoth, who was vital in determining if a soul ended up in the Field of Reeds, allegedly. More on Thoth later. Now, something about the photo itself is that there are two birds with one behind the other. I'm going to just draw the one in front for simplicity's sake. I took my time with the sketching this time, which was easier since I practiced sketching in the last video in the process of making that storyboard. Usually I have very loose sketches that don't really look like anything and gradually try to get more detailed, which I also did this time around. But I still feel like the practice of making my drawings look like something on the first try helped the process go faster this time around. For the second sketch, I specifically put extra attention into the curve of the beak and the layers and silhouette of the wings. It has been a long time since I practiced drawing open wings, but I think that they ended up looking pretty good. The bones in a wing are similar to an arm and wrist, so there is a straight line and then a bit of a bend that leads into the primary feathers. The primary feathers are more spread out than the feathers at the other end of the joint when the wing is extended. The wings are also at a bit of an angle since they are in flight. They were only really the feathery and beak textures today which simplified things. However, the colors were difficult again. Having multiple similar shades of the same color are difficult for me, while one shade of multiple colors is also pretty hard to get right. The transition from green to brown really tripped me up for a bit there. When it comes to the background, a lot of the videos on this channel, specifically in this animal drawing series, show my experiments with learning to draw water in real time. This time, the water ended up looking nice, but more painterly than photorealistic. That said, this is one of my better drawings for the series. Now with ibis, most Egyptian deities are shown with multiple animal heads. The one with an ibis head is named Thoth, who was good at writing, math, medicine, and nerd stuff. So naturally, the one story that stood out to me was the one where he's disguised as a baboon. The following is a combination of my source material and my attempts at jokes and embellishment. In Egyptian mythology, apparently eyes were independently alive, and also female. Now, the sun god Ra got in an argument with his eye. Her name was Tefnut, and she seemingly lost the argument because she jumped out of Ra's face, turned into a lion, and ran off into the desert. Ra could not handle this. "Hey Thoth," he asked. "Yeah," the ibis-headed guy said. "Bring her back." "Okay? I could use a lion lady to protect me and annihilate my enemies." So Thoth went out into the desert in a baboon costume that he bought at the non-distinct district supermarket. It was sweltering. "Did you really think that foolish disguise would work?" Thoth turned to the lioness. "Well, in my defense, you are literally serving the metaphorical role of an uncultured barbarian to my Egyptian civilization in this story." The eye of Ra licked her fang and growled. "For that little comment, you're going to get your face rearranged. Any last words?" She stepped forward. Well, that is certainly a good way to rack up the old karma points. Beating up a poor little bird baboon man. Good things surely come to people who do that. You are the eye of the king. You should know that. She stopped talking. Okay, you're confusing. He smiled. Let me elaborate by telling a story. Once there was a god and a goddess, Geb of the earth and Nut of the sky, and they loved each other very much, and so they obviously couldn't be together because this is a story. Tefnut cleared her throat. Yeah, Fourth, I was there for that. I know these people. He continued as if she didn't say anything. Also, this one guy said that Nut couldn't have any kids on any day of the year, so she asked this really handsome guy named Thoth to help her out. So Thoth paid a visit to the moon. So that was you, Tefnut interrupted. You're really ruining the suspense of the story. And the averagely attractive but delicious spelling bird man gambled with the moon for spare moonlight and made 5 extra days so that Nut could have her kids on a day that hadn't been prohibited. Thoth blinked. Oh, all that to say, please come back to Egypt. No. Please? Still no. Please? I said, please? How many times are you gonna ask? About 1,077 times. Give or take. Well, that's 4 times. If you actually manage to ask me 1,077 times, I'll come back, but that's not going to happen because no one has that kind of stamina. And so he asked 1,077 times, and so she came back home. And after all that, we've reached the end of the video. I have a good feeling about this one, so let's have a little challenge. If you guys can get the video to at least 50 views and 10 likes in the next 3 weeks, I'll make a tutorial on drawing cats. Goodbye!